First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. We are the sons of Jacob, and we come to prophesy against this wicked and evil country called America. Against this country called America. Let's get the first scripture. We're just going to pull out some things on the wickedness of this country, man, and who makes it wicked.
This is Jeremiah 28 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
Prophesied what?
Prophesied both against many countries.
Both what?
Against many countries.
That's what I want. Against.
Against many countries.
God, they prophesied against countries. And it's something that people don't got a good understanding. They're like, why y'all say those things about the country like America? Because the prophets of old prophesied against kingdoms and countries. They prophesied against the wickedness of those kingdoms, the wickedness of those countries. This country, America, is wicked, right? We got people today celebrating a pagan holiday, something that has nothing to do with God. They try to mix in God with paganism, and the Most High God hates that, and He hates you for doing it. Thus said the Bible, right? Read that again for me.
This is Jeremiah 28 and 8.
Bring it out.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Fine. So they prophesied against countries of old and against kingdoms for the wickedness that they have done against God. People will go and say they love God, but they won't show God their love. They're not showing God they love Him. Right? By celebrating Christmas, that's pagan. That's against God. Christmas is against God. Right? And you doing it, show Him you hate Him. Right? Let's get that.
This is Revelation 13, verse 9.
Bring it out.
If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Come on.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right. So this is what you call a dang, I missed the word. What's the word?
A prophecy.
Not just a prophecy, right? But it's
Karma.
Karma, the water. It's karma, right? Read that for me again.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right. You lead people into captivity, you're going to go into captivity. You will reap what you sow, right? And this country have done that. They have reaped a bunch of wickedness and a bunch of evil, right? They've taught people to serve, to hate God. They taught people to hate God, right? You worship God with your lips, but your hearts are far from Him. Thus said the Bible, right? What is Christmas really about? Because it's not about God. Y'all say it is, but you go into the roots of it, and even the Christian church will tell you it's pagan. They will tell you it's against God, but you still do it. That's why this kingdom gotta be destroyed. This kingdom gotta go down, and the people that love it gotta go with it.
God, this is the definition for pagan. It says a person who does not acknowledge your God, a person who follows a polytheistic or pre-Christian religion, not a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew. It says someone motivated by desires for sensual pleasures.
So you worshiping a pagan holiday, you go against God, right? Pagan is against God. Brother just read a beautiful definition of what a pagan is. And that's what y'all are. That's what we're looking at. Because y'all don't stand up for the Most High. Y'all say y'all love Him, but y'all don't. I bet you everybody is waiting for Christmas, waiting to get gifts, going to churches to get a Christmas gift. Right? I heard a lady, she trying to tell a sad story about how her kids didn't go. They went to church and they didn't get no gifts. Right? That's against God. Right? They didn't get as many gifts as the other kids did. Right? This is wickedness, man. This is against God. And the Most High God need men and righteous women to stand up for Him. Right? Because right now what you do is you're showing Him you hate Him. You're showing the Most High God you hate Him. Right? By worshiping other gods. Let me get that numbers.
This is Numbers 35 and verse 33.
Bring it out.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land.
So we talking about karma too, right? For blood it defileth the land. right? Let's see how the land can be cleansed according to the Bible.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein,
The land cannot be cleansed by the blood that was shed therein.
but by the blood of him that shed it.
Right. So the people that raped, robbed, and murdered the people that was originally here, they have got to be killed. Thus saith the Bible. Right? And we dealing with a bunch of people, like I said, that hate God, man, honestly. So you can't expect people to really, they profess God with their mouths, man, but they're not really gonna sit here and worship him. Truly. Right? They're really wicked, man, in heart. But what we trying to do our best is to show them their wickedness so they can repent completely, right? To come out of that Christianity mindset of celebrating Christmas, okay? So when you go and celebrate Christmas, man, you completely hate God. And we can show Christmas and the Christmas tree in the Bible and how God says not to do it, right? You got a precept?
God, this is Titus chapter 1 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
It says, they profess that they know God, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
Hey, it say abominable, man. Man, abominable is disgusting, man. And it's hard to give a good understanding and a definition of abominable, but man, it's like eating a booger sandwich, man. It's true, it's disgusting. That's gross, man. It's gross. And that's how the Most High God views it. Abomination is disgusting. It's gross. Right? That's the best that's the best I can do. Right? Come on.
God, this is Titus 1 and 15.
Bring it out.
Unto the pure, all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. It says, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. So, God, man, hey, even their mind and their conscience is defiled by believing in something that is clearly, hey, you can go to these definitions and see that they're pagan. And we just read how pagan is stuff that is against God that was set up by our oppressors. Even the Romans in the ancient world was our oppressors. The Greeks in the ancient world was our oppressors. So these things is defiled in their mind, but they look at it as pure, man. Like saying that Jesus' birthday was on Christmas, right? Having candlelight services at church, right? They do like little things at the schools like reindeer math. Just to try to get the kids to really love this paganism, man. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? But then it says, like the brother just read, verse 16, they profess that they know God. Everybody out here thinks they know God. Right. But the scripture says in Hebrews chapter 5, what's the first principles of the oracles of God? Is that you be taught again, right? Christianity clearly hasn't done nothing for none of y'all. That's why y'all still celebrating these pagan holidays, right? So it says, they profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. Where is the works at, right? Where is you standing up for the Most High condemning this paganism, right? It says, hey, and this is not just America, it's all across the world. That's why America set up their embassies and set up their U.S. military bases in other countries, man. Like in Afghanistan, when Biden pulled the military out of Afghanistan, they were celebrating. Why? Because now, and what they do, the first thing they do is they told the women, no more driving, no more doing none of that stuff that y'all was doing, twerking on camera and all that. They was doing all of that while the U.S. military was over there. Why? Because they was pushing democracy on them, right? But as soon as Biden took the troops out of Afghanistan, they went right back to their laws, man. And you don't really hear too much about Afghanistan. Why? Because they have morals, man. This place has no morals. But it says, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate, double-minded. You love God only when it's convenient for you, and when shit is going bad for you. Hey, that's when everybody want to pray. When stuff go bad, right? But go ahead.
Hey, and the Most High, right now, he's looking at disobedient children, man. Right? Y'all disobedient to him. Y'all want the blessings, but y'all don't want to do nothing for the blessings. Y'all want to be vain, and y'all want to be carnal, and y'all very selfish people, man. God don't want, he told you not to celebrate Christmas. And we got to get that in the book of Jeremiah. Let's get that, please. God, hey, how you doing, brother? You doing all right? You doing all right? How you doing?
Yes, brother. Yeah, I know. Yes.
All right, so you got a question? That's what's up. That's what's up. You got a question? You know what we out here doing? What's your name? Jeff? Hey, the Most High God, man, is looking for some strong men in these days that's going to stand up for him, that's going to lead the nation into the right direction. Because we got a lot of followers and not enough men. We got a lot of followers, man. And the Most High God is looking for real men that's about that. And it's war and it's tactical, right? And that's what the Most High God, he says he's a man of war, right? Discipline, right? Not soft, not effeminate. Go ahead.
Right, and not only just physical war, he talking about, like the brother said, strong men who's able to fight their own demons too. You know, fight that own self-lust that we all have, right? You got to be ready for that spiritual war too. Fight that too, like being drunk. That's a demon that, you know, people got to fight, man.
Right.
You know, you understand? Yeah, that's a demon that you got to fight. You have to fight that demon. Because some people, they get so drunk that they don't even remember their name, bro. Real talk.
He's not saying that drinking is a bad thing, but drinking is okay. But there's discipline in it, right? Hey, blessings come with discipline, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be disciplined in your action and have self-control. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I'm saying. What's going on? Hey, what's your name? Jeff. Okay, Jeff.
I like that shit. I'm with it.
That's what's up.
Show. Like, yeah.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, man, we you Israelite, and thus said the Bible, right? We Israelites, man. We out here trying to tell our people who they are and what they're supposed to be doing in these last days. And America is telling you to celebrate Christmas, man. And did you know Christmas was in the Bible? Can I get you to get that, please? Christmas is also in the Bible, and it's not the Christmas that they teach in church. They know they have Christians, pastors in church that will tell you it's pagan. I've seen videos where Christian pastors will tell you it's pagan, but they'll still tell the people to worship it and celebrate it anyway. But look, check this out.
This is Jeremiah 10 verse 2.
Bring it out.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen,
Come on.
and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. So the heathen are dismayed at them.
I'm gonna come here.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
All right, Jeff, man. Hey, you an Israelite, brother. Right. Be safe, brother. Hey, so the Most High God told us to not to learn the way of the heathen. Can I get you to get Deuteronomy 17, verse 2? We're going to read verse 2 to verse 3. You can read it.
For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Say what?
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Hey, this is your Christmas in the Bible. It say one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
They do what?
They deck it with silver and with gold.
One more time.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Hey, there's your Christmas right there in the Bible. It says, learn not the way of the heathen, for the customs of the people are vain. You're not supposed to be doing that. The Most High God gave him to worship. You are a special people unto himself. You're supposed to be worshiping God of the universe. Not the stars, not the moons, not the sun. You're supposed to be worshiping him. Not trees. That's not what he created you for. He didn't create you to worship those things. He created you to worship him. Right? 17.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
And Salakia, verse 2. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right? So the Most High God is telling us as Israelites, if there be any Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians among you doing what?
Men or women that have wrought wickedness in the sight of thy Lord thy God.
So if you bring wickedness around your people, come on.
And transgressing his covenant, and have gone and served other gods.
And do what?
Gone and served other gods.
And do what?
Gone and served other gods.
So if you go and serve other gods, the Most High God didn't create you to worship and celebrate Christmas.
Right.
That was not your form of worship. That's not your culture. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? You're supposed to be serving and worshiping the only God in the universe, the Most High God, right? You're not supposed to be celebrating Christmas. Christmas is pagan. It's against God. We just read it out of the Bible. Come on.
and worship them, either the sun or moon.
It says what?
Either the sun or moon.
Because we got people worshiping the sun or the moon. That's all they think about. They'll worship the horoscope, constellations. What's your sign? Those are a form of worshiping other gods. The Christmas tree, that's a form of worshiping other gods. Thus said the Bible. We need real men and real women to stand up for the Most High. Come on.
God, this is John chapter 4:23.
Bring it out.
But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
Hey, the Most High God seeketh those men to worship him in spirit and in truth. That's not going to stand up for this folly, for this foolishness. You're not going to go along with the world. You're going to go. Hey, he say he prayed not for the world. Why does he say that? Why does he say he prayed not for the world? I thought he loved everybody. But Christ said, I pray not for the world, but for those the Father gave him. Also, can I get Luke 19, and I think it's 27.
God, it says God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
Right, so you got to worship the Father in spirit and in truth. You got to worship him. You can't make something up of your own heart and choose to worship him. He told you to worship him the way he wants you to. You are disobedient by doing it the way you wanted to, right? You got to come out of the book. Come learn out of the Bible, right? Christmas is vain and it's pagan and it's against God. Christmas is against God, right?
This is Luke 19, verse 27.
Bring it out.
But those mine enemy,
Hey, and this is Christ, because I see people listening. This is Christ.
but those mine enemy,
Christ said what?
but those mine enemy,
What did Jesus Christ say?
but those mine enemies,
Come on.
which would not that I should reign over them,
Uh-huh.
bring hither and slay them before me.
Christ said what?
Bring hither and slay them before me.
Christ is all about love, brother. I thought it's just all love. No. Christ has enemies, and he told you to bring them here and slay them before him. Right? So we got to learn the Bible all over again. Hey, Proverbs 11:1. Go ahead.
God, this is Psalms chapter 94:16.
Bring it out.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
That's what he wants. Go ahead.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
The Most High is looking for men and women to stand up against the workers of iniquity. Right? What is iniquity? It's sin. It's wickedness. The Most High God is looking for men and women to stand up against the workers of iniquity. And the Most High God is sending his son to come back and to kill a lot of people. Right? And a lot of these people going to die, man. Women, children, men. Right? Yeah. By Christ. Christ is going to kill a lot of people. The church has been fooling and deceiving a lot of people. Right? Christ said to bring my enemies here and slay them before me. Right? Christ is love. But he also has a flip side to it too. He has a balance. Why? Because the Bible says you should have a balance. Read that.
This is Proverbs 11, verse 1.
Bring it out.
A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
Say that again.
A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
The Bible said a false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. You gotta have a balance. And Christ has a balance. He loves and he hates, just like his Father in heaven.
God.
The Father in heaven loves and he hates. We just read it out of the book. What you got?
God. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4.
Bring it out.
And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and we are people before a place. It says, it set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
And that's what we're seeing today. We're seeing a lot of abominations, right? People worshiping and celebrating Christmas. That is an abomination to God. That is an abomination. That's disgusting. And he hates that. Most High God and Christ hates Christmas. You are not supposed to be celebrating that. Thus saith the Bible. Right?
God, verse 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither ye have ye pity. And the word smite, it goes into slap, punch, or kill. And this situation right here is talking about kill them. He's speaking to an angel. He says, go and kill all the ones that's not crying about the abominations that's done out here. So a lot of people got to die. People ain't out here complaining about how Christmas is being promoted on a nationwide level. or a universal wide level, people is not complaining about that. So all of those people gotta die, man. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. Because you know, children love Christmas. They're being taught to love Christmas though. At the end of the day, can I get a precept? Go to SIRACH 33 and 21. They're being taught to love Christmas, man. So these kids got to die because of what you doing, man, at the end of the day.
Because you're teaching your children to be disobedient against God.
Right.
You are against God. You say you love him, but your actions don't show it. Your actions show that you hate God because you're not obedient to him. You are disobedient children, and he's coming back to kill. Go ahead.
Whether they listen or not, it don't matter if people not listening. The word is coming out at the end of the day, man. And soon y'all about to be judged, man. Very soon. Right? Get that.
All right. This is Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 21.
Bring it out.
For better is it that thy children should seek to thee than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
Right. So at the end of the day, it says it right here. I hope y'all listening. It says better is for your children to seek to you and what you doing and what you teach them than you to stand at their courtesy. Right? You got children coming up to their parents, what you gonna give me for Christmas? And the parent feel guilty and they feel like they gotta be like everybody else and go get Christmas presents, man. Why you gotta do it just on Christmas? Why are you supplying your children with Christmas presents at this time? You're supposed to be always giving it to them to where Christmas don't even matter. But nah, man, y'all have rituals that y'all have to go by, man, that you have to follow, right? Or you will be cast out from this society, right? You got people that really think that you hate your kids if you don't get them Christmas presents, right? So it says your children should seek to what you learning, right? So this is back to Ezekiel 9 and 5. It says, 6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin in my sanctuary, right? Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. That's why you see the elderly people dropping like flies right now. Because the Lord told the angel, he said, start with the ancient of the city. Start with the elders, the ones that know better. The ones that know that this is pagan. The ones that know that we was oppressed by these, who actually got the witness us being oppressed. Like we talking about bluntly being oppressed. And they still teaching they still teaching the youth that it's okay to follow after these people, man. Follow paganism. All right, go ahead.
All right, did I have you holding Daniel 12? Let me get that. But the simple fact is that the wicked on the earth must be revealed before the end comes. And the wickedness and all the abominations got to be fulfilled and shown too. And part of the abominations and the wickedness is worshiping and serving other gods. And Christmas is against God, right? Christmas is against God. And we just read it in Jeremiah chapter 10. That's something you're not supposed to do. You are not commanded to worship or celebrate Christmas. That is not of God. 2 Thessalonians 2.
This is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand.
It said the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. That's why we got so many people who don't. Hey, the Hebrew Israelite community is very small in number, and it's done that way for a reason, right? The wicked will not understand what you're supposed to be doing. And we're simply telling you to follow God and be obedient to him, right? But when you are against God, you want to do your own thing. No, I'm cool I like Christmas. I like being wicked. Basically, that's what you're saying, and that's what you're teaching your kids. And your kids is going to follow you, right? The wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. That's what the Bible say. Because there's a lot of Israel that are not Israel, man, and they know they're going to love to do wicked. I know somebody personally that loves to do wicked, and he will tell you he loves to do wicked, right? But we got people out here that will not say that, but their actions show it, right? And y'all gonna be judged for it too. We're gonna see a lot more accidents happen. It's gonna be a lot worse, but we're gonna have to stand firm. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to stand firm, man. Go ahead, though.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 8.
Bring it out.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Let's say what?
And then shall that wicked be
Come
revealed,
on.
whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
It said the Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth. Hey, so the wicked has to be revealed in his last times. And that's what we are here doing. We're warning our people and showing them who the wicked is and what is wicked, according to the Bible. Because I bet if I ask the next person to come up here, do they love God? They're going to say, yeah. But their actions are far from their words.
That's right.
They don't love God. They will not be obedient to the word of God. When God says to do this, they'll do the opposite. All they know is they think that God is just all love until they see the wickedness, until they see the bad stuff. Right? Let me get Isaiah 45 and 17, Bible shot.
Drop that.
No.
Hey, read that one more time.
Let me get Isaiah 45.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 8.
Bring
Bring it out.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Let's say, then what?
Then shall that wicked be
The
revealed,
wicked has to be identified before the end comes.
whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth,
All right.
and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Right. So, hey, at the end of the day, it says the Lord is going to consume them with the spirit of his mouth.
Right.
We don't see the Lord popping out the sky really speaking. What we do see is men set up, like the brothers say, small sanctuaries are being set up all across the four corners of the earth. Man, they in London and Africa preaching his word. Right? And what did Hamashiach Yahushua say? He says, this gospel shall be preached to all the ends of the world, then shall the end come. But this is 2 Ezra 15 and 1.
Yeah.
Behold, speak down in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. Right? So this is what this is, man. This ain't none of us. We're coming direct. Every man up here has a Bible. It's coming directly out of the Bible. Only thing we're doing is giving the understanding on what's coming out of the Bible because it's written in written in Old English. That's all we doing. Some of these scriptures don't even need to be broke down. It's like God is speaking.
Right.
But they don't want to hear it. At the end of the day, man. Go ahead, though.
All right. Hey, and people don't understand God fully. They think that God is all about love, so that's the misconception that they have been taught in the Christian church. And that's an abomination that we just read earlier, because you're not being taught the fullness of the Bible. And a lot of people, a lot of Christian preachers are trying to figure out why are people going to the Hebrew Israelites? Because they're actually teaching the Bible. They're actually teaching the book. Right? That's why. It ain't a secret, because we're actually teaching the Bible. We're not just trying to get you out of your money. We don't want your money. We want you to learn. We want you to be obedient. And like the captain said, that the Most High, he put it on the hearts of men. He put it on the hearts of men to come out here and do it. We ain't doing this for no money. Ain't nobody out here getting paid. Right? Yeah. Spiritually, right. But they don't look at that. They don't look at that. They look at the carnality of it. They look at the carnal of it.
This is Isaiah 45 and 7.
Bring it out.
I form the light and create darkness.
Hold on, just a second.
Let me get a flyer. Who got the flyer?
Hey, listen to what God say.
This is Isaiah 45 and 7.
Bring it out.
I form the light and create darkness.
Come on.
I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
I, the Lord, do all these things. The Most High God forms the light. He creates darkness, right? The good and the evil comes from the Father. He ordains and orchestrates and puts everything in order. Everything is under the obedience and the authority of the Father, right? I want you to read that for me one more time too, because people got to hear both sides of the scale. You got to hear the balance of God, man, right? God is being taught. Come on.
I form the light and create darkness.
Come on.
I make peace and create evil.
I create peace. Say create.
I make peace.
I make peace and create evil. I what?
I, the Lord, do all these things.
Who did it?
I, the Lord, do all these things.
I, the Lord, do all these things. Right? So the good and the bad, you see it because the Father ordained it. He made it happen. Right? And what we're out here trying to do is trying to warn the people, man.
I didn't.
Fine, so with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh. And we got the next powerful speaker come up and touch on it.